Hey, listen. As always, we ask y'all excuse the flesh while listening to our thoughts, charge it to the game and not our hearts. This is Pod in the Body, episode 3. First, we want to talk about friends.
Friends.
Because how many of us have them?
Friends.
Friends.
I feel like everybody have their right and they're entitled to if they decide, hey, even after 10 years, look, we no longer friends. I don't necessarily feel that they owe you anything. They don't owe you to tell you, hey, this is why we're not I'm not gonna communicate with you no more. This is why we're no longer friends anymore. You
right? Like, what's the harm in coming to somebody and saying, listen, this is where we grew apart at. I'm at a stage in my life where I want to talk about businesses, investing, buying homes, and you still talking about drinking, going to the club, and smoking weed. I'm not there anymore.
I think sometimes people do things for their own personal reasons. It could be mental. It could be mentally draining for you, for that other person, just to be around you. When a person love you like a friend, your friends love you, that's the quickest way for them to kill you. I do ghost people. I ain't gonna lie, I do get ghosts. But
what do you get from letting them know?
Well, I think from that standpoint, for me, it's personally like, Joe, I value you as a friend. If the behavior after we had a conversation, if it persists, then it's time for us to go our separate ways.
Well, you used to have fist fights with your friends, though. Growing up, you used to fist fight with your friends.
Yeah.
Those individuals that you were able to fist fight with, was you closer to them, or were you closer to the individuals that you never had to box with?
Bro, like, you learn the value of a relationship with your friends if you're able to box with them, and then come back together and say, okay, now this is why we fought. Now let's talk about this. And
we created our own fight club in the basement. Absolutely. We used to go down there with all our friends. Can't none of them say we won boxing. We was only rules was not we ain't hitting below the belt, and we gonna try to miss the face. Otherwise, everything was good.
We need some adobe sasa. You need a little bit of sazon in your relationship.
Sazon on the relationship, make it just fine. One of the things about friendship is, in order to have good friends, you got to be a good friend.
Right there.
What makes a good friend?
Look at that. I might say, it make you a good friend if I could call you at 2 a.m. and say, hey, it's smoke, let's go. And you say, on the way. To me, a good friend is a person that can communicate effectively with you. But what defines a good friendship is maybe just being there when they need you.
I think you really realize what's a good friend in due time over longevity. So, and also, a good friend is not going to call nobody to go shoot nobody or go fight, because best friends become strangers
pachangas. So if somebody asks you to describe yourself as a friend, then what would you say? You have to be somebody's good friend, or just a good friend, period, for you to say that I know what that looks like.
Never been a hater. Never been a hater. Never been a bitch ass. Never been a snake. Never been a backdoor. Never been a backbiter. Never been a thief. Those things that get you, you have friends forever.
A friend 100% salutes your accomplishment. Friendships are relationships that need to be built up, and people are not spending the same requisite amount of time to build up relationships like they used to.
Because a lot of people lose friends because in their mind, my friend should be the same way that I am. Like, the loyalty gonna come before the money. And I think that's a lot of times why a lot of people do not have friends, quote unquote, because they looking at the people around them and they're saying, you know what? Can I even trust this person? Because
he a good guy, but in a certain situation, he is a runner. He ain't gonna fight. You should never do business with a friend. I really believe that. Put them in position to get their own money, but I don't think you should ever do business with your friends.
How would you consider yourself as a friend?
I would say, honestly, probably terrible. I literally went to my therapist and said, I don't know what being a friend is. I don't think that I build solid relationships in a friendly manner. Can you help me out with this? Like, we some cool ass dudes, and nobody can say different. Like we got done dirty too many times by too many.
I was just gonna
people
say,
we call friends.
I done had people in my life who done fucked me over religiously.
What I'm saying.
Religiously, right? The man was getting close to us so he could date that woman. We've had people who, quote unquote, been friends with us who've come into our home and stole video games out of our home. Whole video games. We're not talking about CDs that you can easily say,
we're talking about
console.
We're talking about when you're in a relationship / friendship with someone, whose duty or job per se is it to keep that relationship going? Is it on
man?
You?
Listen, I got tons of women friends that always took care and had my best interests at heart, man.
Bro, men can't have women friends, bro. Ain't no such thing as a women friend to a man, bro. There is not. You stop that capping. That's why I say cap. Gotta call cap on that.
And every time you run into a chick that you think would make a good lay partner, like you got to look at it like, nah, man, what am I really doing if I lay with her? You know what I mean? We do.
Hell, a lot of women I done slept with, I can still consider my friends, but that's a different dynamic in itself.
Every man want to scrape the woman he chilling with. Every man. Are you friends or associates? Like friends. Man, listen, you not my friend if you ain't never got chased with me. I got chased with y'all niggas. I got chased with all of my homies. I got into fights with all of my. If you ain't got no movie to tell with the deep, they ain't your friend. You gotta be able to tell a movie, a story with them.
Hey, don't do that. Like, it's not worth it. That's a good friend too. But the type of friend that I am, I want that friend to be like, let's go. I don't want to talk my friends out of stupid stuff. I might even know it's stupid. But that's the type of friend I am. I'm riding with you, bro.
Different era, man. The era was so different where the realness was a different level, man. You know what I mean? You could come into an environment and recognize everybody in the room. And now people are snakes and chameleons to the point where, again, you got to question agendas and things like that. We didn't have to do that. We associated people with who they were. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean we was able to individualize people and say, yeah, you, him, he one of them. You know what I mean? And we moved accordingly. Nowadays,
because you selective, bro. You choose with it. That's why you probably don't know how to work with men. That's what it's a choice. You don't know how to work with men. You don't know how to work with a man, bro. Like that's the problem, bro. That's why you gotta get in that field with men. Men put that.
When we in a field, if we in a field, but I know who make the needle move. Women make the needle move, boy. Listen,
that man Perseus stole the king wife. They traveled all the way to Troy and sent it up.
They have the ability to influence men to do what they want to do.
If a woman is influencing you, you a man, you a beta male sip cuck mangina.
Sometimes you might have you might have your rider friend, your gangster. Sometimes you might have your educational friend, somebody that's going to impart some knowledge on you. Sometimes you're going to have your women friends that's going to be able to go influence and get some things done for you. Especially if we call each other's friends, we should be looking to help each other develop and grow.
And a lot of times it's people out there right now that's hanging around people that do not deserve your friendship. You know, when you're looking at friendships and things like that, you might have to ask yourself, shit, do they deserve me?
For me, I do want to better people and I want to be better myself. And so I'm always in a constant state of elevation. And I want anybody that's surrounded me and taking in my energy to be elevated. So as a friend, if you're listening to this, know that when you come around me, it's all about elevation. And once we make it to elevation, we at levitation. We are the only way is up. All we ask is that you excuse our flesh while listening to our thoughts, charge it to the game, not our hearts. Poddin the Bodi.
Man, I just want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in. We do have this is episode 3. We got episode 2 that we're chopping up and editing. It's going to be live on the YouTube page. You can follow it down at the bottom. It says Swag So Me. That's my personal YouTube page. I got workout videos on there. We also gonna put the podcast on there, but we also gonna have another page just particularly for the podcast. If you want to catch the full live of us just talking our shit, this is something we definitely gonna get into again. We see a lot of social media stuff, and anybody that want to join and be a part of the podcast, just either DM us or even on the chat, just hit us up and say, hey, I want to be a part of that, man. And we can create topics and things that you'll want to talk about. And we can break these down. The podcast, Poddin Bodi is going to be every Wednesday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Right now, guys, if you looking for jewelry, go to jivejewels.com. If you're looking for jewelry, Cuban links, rings, wedding rings, anything, go to jivejewels.com. Fuck friends, bitches too. All I got is this money and this to do.